Good evening, dear listener, and welcome to Slumber Lullabies, where stories unravel the threads of human hearts with tender care. Tonight, we journey to Willow Creek, a sleepy town in the rolling hills of Ohio, where the echoes of World War II still linger in the air. This is the story of Clara Hensley, a woman whose life became a quiet vigil, waiting for her husband Samuel, a pilot lost to the skies. If your heart carries the weight of a loved one far away, perhaps a soldier, a sailor, or simply someone beyond your reach, let this tale mirror your soul. Close your eyes, feel the rustle of leaves, and let the ticking of a forgotten clock guide you into her world. Picture a modest house on the outskirts of Willow Creek, its white paint peeling under the weight of years. It's late autumn, 1946, and a heavy fog blankets the town, softening the edges of barren trees and dim streetlights. Inside, a single kerosene lamp flickers, casting long shadows across the worn wooden floors. At the kitchen table sits Clara, now 42, her hands resting on a small, scratched pocket watch, its hands stilled at 3:17, the moment Samuel last wound it before leaving. Her auburn hair, once vibrant, is streaked with gray, pulled back tightly as if to hold her composure together. The house is silent, save for the creak of the floorboards and the distant hoot of an owl. Photographs line the mantel, Samuel in his pilot's uniform, grinning with youthful bravado, Clara and him dancing at their wedding in 1939, a snapshot of their last picnic by the creek. She traces his face with a trembling finger, her breath hitching. The war ended a year ago, but for Clara, it lingers. You feel that emptiness, don't you, listener? The chair across from you, once filled by laughter, now a void that echoes with every tick of the clock you can't bear to wind. Let's drift back to 1939, when Willow Creek buzzed with the promise of a new decade. Clara, 25 and full of life, worked as a school teacher, her classroom a haven of chalk dust and children's giggles. Samuel Hensley, a mechanic-turned-pilot with dreams of the sky, swept into her world with his easy smile and stories of flight. They met at the town fair, his hand warm as he helped her onto the Ferris wheel, their laughter mingling with the music below. You remember that joy, don't you? The moment your spouse's touch made the world feel whole. Their love grew fast. By summer's end, they married in a simple ceremony by the creek, the water sparkling under a golden sun. Samuel gifted her the pocket watch, its silver case engraved with CNS forever. "I'll always come back to you," he whispered, winding it with care. The war clouds gathered in 1941, and Samuel enlisted, his eyes bright with duty. Clara waved him off at the train station, the watch pressed to her lips, his promise ringing in her ears. If your husband left with a vow, listener, do you feel that knot in your chest, the hope that sustains you? The war changed Willow Creek. By 1943, the town's men were gone, some to factories, others to battlefields. Samuel's letters arrived sporadically, filled with tales of B-17 missions over Europe, the roar of engines, and his longing for her cooking. Clara wrote back, her words a lifeline, stories of the school, the garden, the watch ticking by her bed. Each letter was a thread, binding them across the Atlantic. Do you count the days between messages, listener, your heart racing with each new envelope? Then, in June 1944, the letters stopped. A week passed, then a month. Whispers spread, Allied bombings, planes lost over Normandy. Clara clung to the watch, winding it daily, its tick a heartbeat she refused to let fade. In August, a telegram arrived, its edges sharp. Missing in action, presumed dead. The town gathered, voices hushed, but Clara's hands shook as she read it again and again. She stood by the creek, the watch cold in her palm, and screamed into the wind, a sound swallowed by the trees. You know that scream, don't you? The moment hope fractures, leaving only silence. The years crawled by. Willow Creek rebuilt, new families moved in, children played where soldiers once marched. But Clara's world shrank. She quit teaching, her classroom a memory of Samuel's promises to visit. The house grew cluttered with his things: his pilot jacket, a half-finished model plane, letters tied with ribbon. She wound the watch every morning, its tick a ritual, a defiance against the telegram's verdict. Neighbors brought casseroles, offered condolences, but Clara's smile was a mask, her eyes searching the horizon. In 1947, a letter came from a fellow pilot, Tom Ridley. "Sam saved us," he wrote. "His plane was hit, but he steered it away, gave us time to bail. I saw him eject, but the smoke, I couldn't find him." Clara's heart leapt. Alive, perhaps injured, lost somewhere. She wrote to the War Department, scoured veteran lists, but found nothing. She sat by the window each night, the watch in hand, whispering, "Come home, Sam." If your spouse is far, listener, do you see your own nights in hers? The endless vigil, the flicker of hope? By 1955, Clara was a shadow of herself. The school hired a new teacher, the garden withered, and the house sagged under neglect. She wove blankets from old wool, her fingers moving through grief, the watch her anchor. Townsfolk whispered she was mad, clinging to a ghost. But to Clara, Samuel was alive in every tick, every memory. One winter, a stranger knocked, another veteran, gray and limping. "I knew Sam," he said. "He spoke of you, of a watch. I think he made it to a French village, but the lines shifted. He left a sketch of a church, its steeple broken." Clara clutched it, tears falling, the watch ticking against her chest. "You feel that surge, don't you? The brief light, the crushing doubt." She traveled to France in 1956, her savings drained, the watch her guide. In a small village, she found the church, its ruins overgrown. A local remembered an American pilot, nursed back to health, then taken by resistance fighters, destination unknown. Clara stood there, the fog mirroring Willow Creek's, and wept. She returned, the sketch framed, the watch her only solace. If your husband's fate is uncertain, listener, do you share her despair? The decades rolled on. In 1965, Clara's hair turned fully gray, her hands gnarled from weaving. She kept the house as a shrine. Samuel's jacket hung by the door, his letters read nightly. The watch ticked on, a heartbeat she refused to silence. Neighbors moved away, the town grew quiet, but Clara's vigil never wavered. She wrote letters to missing persons bureaus, visited veterans' homes, her hope a threadbare cloak. One night, a package arrived, an old pilot's logbook, sent anonymously. Inside, Samuel's handwriting, "Clara, I'm alive, lost in Germany. Find me." The last entry was 1945. She fell to her knees, the watch slipping, its glass cracking. You feel that shatter, don't you? The joy of a clue, the agony of its lateness. In 1975, Clara, 61, was frail but fierce. She hired a private investigator, her savings gone, the watch her last treasure. The man found a grave in a German cemetery. Samuel Everett Hensley, died 1946, unmarked. No body, no proof, just a name. Clara refused to believe, returning to the creek, the watch pressed to her lips. "I waited, Sam," she whispered, the wind carrying her words away. Snow fell, blanketing the town, and she sat by the window, the logbook open, the watch ticking faintly. One icy night in 1980, Clara's breathing slowed. The fire died, the house grew cold, and she gazed at a photograph, Samuel's smile, frozen in 1941. "I'm coming, love," she murmured, the watch clutched to her heart. She slipped away, the tick fading into silence. Far off, in that German grave, a whisper seemed to rise. Samuel's voice, calling her name. You weep now, listener. Do you see your own weight end in her peace? And you, dear listener, as the silence settles over Willow Creek, hold this story close. See Clara's house, its light now dark, the fog hiding her tears. Feel her love, her weight, her unbroken hope. Does it echo your own? Let the wind sigh and the watch's final tick carry you to a quiet place where love lingers beyond loss. This is Slumber Town Lullabies, and we'll return with another tale to touch your soul. Rest in your memories, and may your heart find solace.